Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Just kind of playing around on YouTube a few minutes ago and watching a couple videos, and I saw Billy did a response video to a thread, and I was watching it and just really kind of liked the questions that were in the contest, and I thought, kind of got inspired. And anytime there's kind of good questions in a thread or something like that, and I start thinking about answers and wanting to answer it, I just want to jump on board and give my 2 cents. So I kind of followed the video back from Billy's and saw that it was Farley, Red Show Fan Cave, who is doing a 200 subscribers contest, I believe. So I went back and checked out his video and saw his answers as well, and thought, yeah, I'm just gonna jump on board and answer those questions because there was some fun stuff, made me think a little bit, and like I said, it just kind of motivated me to want to make a video. So first of all, congratulations on the subs. That's very, very awesome. And let me just kind of jump in and answer the questions that you had. So the first question was kind of your favorite artwork, your favorite cover artwork. And as always, I'm sure a lot of you the exact same way. It's hard to sometimes narrow something down to one when you like so much stuff, to narrow something down to just to one thing. So with most of these, what I did was just kind of did an honorable mention and then my actual pick. All right. So for favorite artwork, I mean a few different things. Our favorite cover art. I mean, there's definitely a couple things I could have easily chose. As a runner-up, I'm gonna go with Dio's Holy Diver. And another one that could easily be here would be the single for the Trooper. And one of the main reasons behind that too is this kind of goes back to my junior high years. In my bedroom, I had my walls completely covered with posters. My goal was to have my ceiling and my wall covered with posters touching corner to corner, not a single bit of paint showing. Even going behind furniture and stuff like that. And I did it. And by the time I was done, between big posters and smaller ones, I had over 202 posters in my room. And Dio's Holy Diver was one of them. And so I saw that poster in a mall one day, had to get it. And then, of course, as soon as I got the poster, I immediately wanted to go home and find out what this Dio was about. And this was the first Dio album I ever got. So, yeah, this artwork still holds a tremendous effect for me, if you will, when it just comes to kind of cool artwork. And then, of course, the Trooper is the exact same thing. I had that poster, and it's probably my favorite Iron Maiden Eddie poster is the Trooper. But my actual pick, I'm going to go with Roxy Music's Avalon. And initially it may actually sound kind of weird, considering this is somewhat of a plain album cover in comparison to a lot of stuff that's out there. But for those of you that have kind of been around my channel for a while, you kind of know my history with this album cover. I kind of picked the cover by saying my favorite by the one that brought about the most emotional reaction for me. And again, I've said it a bunch of times in the past, and I don't know why. There's something about this album cover that just freaks the crap out of me, especially in conjunction with listening to the songs More Than This or Avalon. Excuse me, Avalon. Sorry, I was eating some almonds before I started doing the video. That's better. Yeah, especially the song Avalon. And I don't know exactly what it is, but again, if I'm listening to that song, that takes me to a strange place, period. But then if I put it in conjunction with looking at this album cover, it just freaks me out. It makes my stomach do weird things. It just kind of takes me to a very weird place. And as much as I've come to try to understand that, the best way for me to explain it, with as much as I know about it right now, is that something about those songs really kind of float, look like they, some metal and stuff, it's like pounding, and that's like a punch in the stomach, if you will. Avalon, more than this, is like something that floats on a very high mist, or like something just really high in the sky that just floats over everything. If that makes any sense. And then in the context of with this album cover, which really gives me kind of an impression of being totally isolated, being on your own, being, really lost and separated from like everything and everyone. I think something about putting those two things together, it's just a really strange reaction. But maybe I don't get too much in detail, but that's what I'm picking as my favorite album cover based on the very strong emotional reaction that I get from it. Next question. I'll try to move these a little faster so I don't take too long. Oh, this is the one where you're being carried off into space. I guess maybe you're being taken somewhere to save the world or something like that. And you can take one album, one movie, one book, and only one type of food. And what are you going to take? So when I looked at one album, again, the thing I thought about there was, what's the one thing I can listen to over and over and over for a very long period of time and never get tired of it? Because yeah, I'm a total metalhead, but I couldn't listen to Testament every single day for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. After a while, I'd just be like, God, would somebody give me some Sade, or would somebody give me some, Steve Perry, or like something, anything with this pounding. And then vice versa too. So I tried to pick albums that I thought if I listened to for 2, 3 years in a row, that just it wouldn't really get old for me. So my runner-up is Billy Idol's Rebel Yell, which I think I showed this album in my last video or video before last, so I kind of explained the significance of this album to me. So again, I can listen to this on and on and on for 1, 2, 3, 4 years in a row, and I don't think I'd ever get too tired of it. That's my runner-up. The actual album I think I would pick would be this one here, Oh Brother Where Art Thou? And of course I try to stay away from greatest hits and stuff like that. I felt it was kind of cheating. But Oh Brother Where Art Thou? Again, it's one of those albums that just would not get old. I mean, I can listen to it over and over, and you can go to so many different emotional places with this album. It can take you back home, kind of down home, if you will. It can take you, out in the country. I mean, talk mentally and emotionally. It can take you just freely out into the countryside. It can take you to church. It can take you to so many different places emotionally. And I think that's an album that would kind of never get old, because it would always kind of fit your mood. So, Oh Brother Where Art Thou would be the album that I would take in the space. What movie? I kind of thought the same thing here. A lot of classic, great movies out there that I would not say either one of these are the best movies ever, but they are the movies that I could watch over and over and over and never get tired of. So runner-up would be High Fidelity. I never get tired of watching that movie. And I'm sorry I don't have the cases here. When I moved into my new place here, I decided to put all these in booklets, and I've stored all my cases downstairs. So High Fidelity be a runner-up. And the movie that I would take, because again I could watch over and over, never get tired of, another runner-up was Grease 2 of all things, but Weird Science is going into space with me. I absolutely love 80s comedies across the board, especially new wave type comedies. So whether you're talking about Weird Science, Breakfast Club, Say Anything, Losing It, Spring Break, Last American Virgin, just all Porky's, like all those things are just classics to me. And Weird Science is kind of the pinnacle. So that's what I would take with me. Never get tired of watching that movie. The one book I would take, that's pretty simple too. Good old Bible. Again, never get old. If you're actually going off into space on a mission to save the world, you probably need it. It's more so than any other book. But yeah, I mean, that's a book that you never finish reading. That's a book that you never finish learning. That's a book that you never finish growing. So of course, that's the one book you want to take with you. Um, and then one type of food. Again, assuming health is not an issue there. I think you picked lasagna, which I am. That's definitely a runner-up for me because my mom makes an incredible lasagna, and it's the same thing. Oh my gosh! When you were talking about yours, I was getting so freaking hungry. We were talking about your girlfriend making that lasagna, but my one pick would be the fettuccine alfredo with chicken, with grilled chicken from Olive Garden. I could eat that crap every single day. Oh my gosh, that stuff is so good, like crackhead good. Um, and the thing that makes it so great too is that it's actually better when it's rewarmed. You know, typically if I go to Olive Garden and they don't have like an unlimited thing or something like that, what I try to do is I fill up as much as possible on salad and breadsticks. So when my entree comes, the fettuccine alfredo and chicken, I don't even want to eat any of it because I'm so full. Because I can't wait to take it home, let it sit, put it in the refrigerator, and rewarm it later on. Like the grease separates from the sauce and it just becomes this, oh my gosh, that stuff is so good. So that's definitely the food that I would take without question. So moving right along, my stomach is literally growling right now. First concert I ever saw, that's pretty easy. Oaktown 357 and MC Hammer. I think I was in what, 7th grade or 8th grade when I saw that. They performed at a homecoming at the college where my dad worked, and yeah, it was my first concert, and it was right when MC Hammer just started to make it big. And I mean, yeah, they absolutely tore it up. And actually, I remember Oaktown 357 more so than MC Hammer, so that was a great show. So that was my first concert. Last question. Why did you get into the vinyl community? Why did I get into the vinyl community? Because I answered a question. Is really the best way I could put it. It's Well, you have to keep in mind, you know, I started doing videos before the vinyl community was the vinyl community. So, you know, I think obviously there's not always like a single starting point for something, but kind of, you know, different elements that come together and turned into this thing called the vinyl community. But for me, the start of the vinyl community was Sean used to do videos. He's one of the only people that were doing videos at the time, and I loved watching his stuff. And I just started collecting, and I was looking for other people's videos, and no one was really doing any videos. So I thought, well, at the very least, I need to kind of jump in and do some videos, because how can I ask for and look for them when I'm not even doing any? So I did a couple videos. I was maybe 5 or 6 videos into posting videos, and then for me, the vinyl community started when a guy by the name of What's Up Hamadi, I don't think he ever posted any videos. He saw a couple of my videos and he asked me a question, and he said, what were the 5 most influential albums that really kind of set your music taste, you know, today? And I answered the question, including putting a Kenny G live album in that answer. And then a guy named Dan from Canada, those of you that have been around a long time, you probably remember Dan from Canada. Such a shame that he's not around anymore, because that guy's musical knowledge was just like, I mean, he was incredible. But he saw my response to What's Up Hamadi's question, and then Dan did a response to that. And from that point is where I remember the first threads taking place that went into what became the vinyl community. So again, if you ask me why did I get into the vinyl community, it's because it just spawned from the conversation or the question that What's Up Hamadi asked. It wasn't an intentional thing, but yeah, that was a great time too. I mean, it's like people just came on board so fast, and there were threads like every other day, and you couldn't even keep up with everything that was going on. It was absolutely insane. But that's kind of why I'm in the vinyl community, if you will. So it's kind of cool too, because I know I can literally say that I've been in the vinyl community since day one, like literally since day one. So it's been a long time, 7, 8 years, something like that. Um, so that's my vinyl community story. But anyway, again, man, congratulations on the subs. Great questions. I had a real fun time kind of thinking about all that, which is why I wanted to make sure that I jumped on board and gave a response. All right, so I hope all is well, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, take care.